Thanks for tuning into the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more with another hip hop topic. So, thinking earlier about Lupe's Fiasco and his discography, I had a thought about which album is the best album in my opinion. So, out of all his albums, I know the first three are like the untouchables, right? So, you think about Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor, Lupe Fiasco's The Cool, and then you have the Lasers album. Now, all of those albums have distinctly three different purposes and subject matters. So the first one, of course, is just the intro to the world. So he's kind of displaying his rapping ability. He has some pop hits on there. A song that Kick Push, which we all know and love, was introduced to us commercially. Then he has, songs like the instrumental that made it on Madden soundtrack. So he has some pop hits on there. So it's just an introduction, as most are. But that the Cool album had a lot of introspective stuff. It had a lot of um, just showcasing his range, probably the album that he had the most range on. And then Lasers, of course, was more political. He started to get into more philosophical things. He started to come into his own and started to mold himself into insight into him to get into more um, a worldly view of himself. So they all have three distinct ones, but which one has the best lyrics, the best content, and best in terms for his legacy? Now, I will always have Food and Liquor as a high value for him because it did a lot for me as far as hip hop goes. Back in '06 when it dropped, and he dropped Kick Push first, which was just something to get his name out there, like most artists used to do. Put out something catchy, and then fans would grab to it, listen to the album, and see the real you, just to get yourself out there, so you can get the eyeballs on you. So that album will always be special because it was probably pure hip hop as you can get. Even all of his albums to today, I think that Food and Liquor album is the most purest because of just the content it expressed. It had range on it, but it was about lyricism, being an MC, and I believe that album has the most value as far as being an MC goes. But as far as the best album, I think that belonged to his The Cool album, which is the second album, which he had no sophomore slump on his second album. Contrary to most beliefs about people who release albums, whether it be rap, country, R&B, whatever, the second album is usually the most underwhelming, but not for him. I think he got stronger as the second album went along, and it showed his diverse flow, his ability to make something for all the fans. So if you're a fan of pop music, Superstar, track Superstar with Matthew Santos is the one for you. If you're the lovey-dovey type rap that like the Tribe Called Quest type vibe, Paris Tokyo is definitely that track for you. If you're just a purist, that hip hop saved my life is definitely a track for you. If you like the alternative rap, the high definition with Snoop Dogg is one of those type of tracks for those type of fans. And I believe the lyrical fan, you have a track like Go Go Gadget Go, which all of the songs are lyrical, but that Go Go Gadget flow is one of his underrated songs. If you're a fan of the metaphoric type raps, Gotta Eat is that track for you where he compares a burger to real life stuff, which is very interesting. He was supposed to make a track too. We never got that, but that Gotta Eat is definitely one of the best metaphoric rap songs of all time. And then this album is just his best selling album too, and I think for a reason. Not just because of the features, because he had hits like Superstar and um, the Coolest is one of my favorite tracks as well. So he has a lot of tracks on with pizzazz, but he's still giving you that lyrical aspect, and he showed that you can do both. So most people, when they talk about Drake, they say, well, he transcended just rap, so he has to make music for all of his fans. So he has to compromise the art. No, it's not true. You see Common do it all the time. You see Kanye did it back in the day, even now to some degree. Lupe has always done it throughout his career. He's still able to make a hit, but still not compromise the art, compromise being an MC just for the pop style or whatever. You can do both. And Lupe always have shown you that, especially on this first three. albums, but specifically on the first two, but that you can still do both. Because Kick Push was very poppy, but it was still true to form as far as hip hop. If you can, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics and analyze the lyrics, it's still not compromising his art. And Lupe is one of the best storytellers of all time in hip hop, and he goes very underrated that way because he's very lyrical and very conscious rapper. So I don't think he goes noticed as much. But he is a Nas fan, and you can hear Nas's pedigree in his music for being a storyteller, and he's one of the best storytellers in hip hop history. So, um, but and just like Nas as well, he's not very popular or commercially successful, but he's very revered by his peers, and they understand what his pen does, and that he gets busy on the mic. So, pause. But for example, there's no reason that Illmatic or It Was Written shouldn't have Grammys. Either one of those or both shouldn't have Grammys tied to them in some way. And I feel the same way about Lupe's first two albums as well. So, if you want to, if, in my opinion, the best album is Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. So, tell me your thoughts about which album is your favorite album from Lupe. And until next time, I'll see you next time.